All right, today we're doing another three things video. Last time we did this, it was a lot of fun. We talked about why I play true solo. We talked about the quote unquote wow factor. We talked about a deck building update. And I really like this video, and you all seem to like that style of video. So I wanted to kind of do it again and cover three different things today. And they are Burnout, the best deck ever, and a hero everyone loves that you don't. Right? So let's go through each of these things. Let's start with Burnout, right? This was a question that actually came up in one of my live streams. I believe Fodder brought it up. And they had asked if I ever get burnout from, live streaming or Marvel Champions or anything like that. And the truth is, I do, right? I create a lot of content for Marvel Champions. And a part of the reason I do that is, it's some of my best stuff. You look through this and okay, the top two videos or top three videos aren't Marvel Champions related, which is kind of ironic. But after that, it is a lot of Marvel Champions stuff, right? There's one Lord of the Rings stuff, more Marvel Champions, a solo box one, more Marvel Champions storage, Marvel Champions, right? Talking about Marvel Champions, right? Like it's Marvel Champions almost all the way through, and it's a lot of it. And the thing is, like, I really like Marvel Champions. I like talking about it. Obviously, a big part of this channel was built around Marvel Champions, but there are times that I play too much of it. For me personally, the way I review things and the reason why my reviews usually take longer than most other people's is because I want to get about a dozen plays in, right? Roughly. If it's a hero or if it's a villain, my goal is to get a dozen plays in. That's just the threshold I've put upon myself. And the reason being is because I feel like after a dozen, I have a really strong grasp of the hero and or villain, right? I don't know them perfectly and not every scenario is going to come up, but I feel like I have a decent idea of what they're all about and what they're capable of. And I try to mix and match, like for like a hero, I try to go against 12 different villains, right? And I try to split the aspects as evenly as possible. Sometimes that doesn't always work, but I try my best. Same with the villains, right? So with the villains, I try different heroes to play it against. So for me, when you watch like a review video, it's not just me going through a villain or a hero once, it's me going through them multiple times off camera. So anyway, it becomes exhausting. It becomes exhausting. And for me, this is a part of the reason why I put other stuff in this channel. And this is another question I get a lot is, isn't this just mainly a Marvel Champions channel? And it primarily is, right? It primarily is. But I enjoy playing other things. I enjoy highlighting those things. We've done Arkham Horror. We've done Lord of the Rings. We've done Too Many Bones. We've done Spyro's End. We've done other games. And it's something I enjoy doing, and it helps the burnout process, right? For me personally. And it's just one of those weird things I have to balance. So like right now over on stream, I'm going through an Arkham Horror campaign. And, to be real with you all, it hurts Twitch numbers, it hurts YouTube numbers, but it helps my mental health, right? It makes it easier and better for me to go through this stuff. So I think for me personally, the way I handle burnout is just taking that break, designating a certain amount of time for that break, because I also have the tendency, if I stop doing something for a while, I'll continuously not do it, right? So, for example, if I took a break from Marvel Champions, unless I force myself back into it, I probably wouldn't just pick it back up. So the way I work is, okay, I'll say like, I'm going to do a campaign of Arkham Horror. When I'm done with that campaign, I'm going to force myself back into Marvel. And I know that sounds like negative, that I have to force myself back into it, but just how my mind works. So I start playing Marvel again and I go, oh yeah, that's right. I love this game. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I love streaming it. I love creating content for it. I love all the other stuff too, but this is really special to me and really enjoyable. So it's one of those things where that's how I go through that process. And again, I want to pose this question to you all. Do you all deal with burnout in this game? Do you deal with burnout with other games? Maybe it's just watching videos. Do you deal with burnout of like you watch so many of the same videos or whatever? I don't know, whatever it is. Do you deal with this, and how do you overcome it, right? How do you deal with it? So anyway, that was the first thing I want to talk about. And next up, I want to talk about the best deck ever. And I've referenced this in other videos. For those that don't know, and I don't have the tab up, I probably should have, C-Stan created the one deck, right, over on Lord of the Rings LCG. It's up on the website. And he created a deck that is arguably the most perfect Lord of the Rings deck. I've used it. You could play the entire collection of games, right? Every single scenario, every single like standalone pack, whatever, it doesn't matter. And you can win on Nightmare and Standard and Hard and whatever, it doesn't matter. It's that good of a deck. There's some scenarios that are harder than others. but overall you can do it. And this is the thing I've referenced on this channel that I really have always wanted to do for Marvel Champions. I've wanted to create the one deck, and I don't think I'm there or anything yet. I don't know if we're quite there yet, but I feel like I'm getting closer. And honestly, I feel like this deck, and I'll put the link to it down in the comments, but it's my Wolverine protection deck, and it still needs tweaking. It still needs work on. It needs to be a little bit more generic because it needs to work for every single scenario. But this deck seems to be doing really well. The reason being is because Wolverine has so much attack. He has so much attack, and he has decent thwarting. I think the thwarting needs to be a little bit better on this, but has decent thwarting. I think as more cheap allies come out, it'll be even better. But this is a deck where right away you can play his most expensive cards because of Wolverine's claws, right? The Wolverine's claws allow you to exhaust, you take damage, and you can play that attack event for free for the damage cost, right? That's huge. That's huge because you can play these really expensive attacks super fast, do a ton of damage, and in protection, there's enough healing cards in there to heal you up. Plus, Wolverine naturally heals. To me, as a solo player, I should reference too, this is for solo. To me, it seems like one of the most well-balanced ways of playing Wolverine in maybe the game. Now, I know a lot of people talk about Doctor Strange is overpowered, and I'll be honest, I've never really thought he's overpowered. I think he's just super straightforward and easy to play, and I know people are going to argue with me on that, and that's fine. I think he's powerful. I think all mystics are powerful and a bit strong, but I think he's just very straightforward to play because it doesn't truly matter what aspect you run. You're just playing the invocation deck, right? That's what you're doing. And a big strength of the invocation deck is that you can like stun and confuse and put toughs everywhere. And as more enemies get steady or stalwart, that becomes a little harder to do. So again, a lot of people have talked about that one deck is going to be built around Doctor Strange. I'm not convinced. Right now, I'm thinking it's going to be built with Wolverine. I'm still running this deck through every single villain. I've done all the quote unquote easier villains on standard and expert so far, and it's destroyed them. What I have left is the big three, right? Is Venom Goblin, is Ronin, and Loki on expert. Those are the three that I haven't tried yet, and we have to see. I'm a little nervous too because I have a lot of hope for this deck, and you know, it's gonna stink if it fails. So anyway, that's that. But anyway, I wanted your thoughts and opinions on this too. Like, what is as of right now, the one deck, right? Not necessarily just the hero, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to say Strange, right? I'm sure a lot of people are going to say Strange, that he's the strongest, hero and can go through everything. But what deck specifically then was Strange? And if you have some of the more out of the box heroes of, I know a lot of people will throw like Adam Warlock out there with the Wild Tutor deck or whatever else, right? Is there anything else out there that you would see to be a contender for the one deck? I'm really interested in hearing about this because I think it's just a neat, fun, cool concept. And it's really cool if it could be done. So, okay. Last thing I want to talk about kind of has to do with Strange as well. And that's a hero everyone loves, but you don't. And this is always randomly asked over on Reddit, and I've never done a Reddit reply for that specifically because it's kind of a weird thing to talk about. But I want to talk about heroes that everyone seems to love that you just don't. And for me, this is Strange, right? I don't like his playstyle. And what's really frustrating a lot of times when I mention this online, they go, "Oh, you don't like him because he's too powerful." And it's like, no, I don't like him because he's boring. I think he is the most boring hero in Marvel Champions. I just do. I think you just run through the invocation deck, you throw out some meat shield allies, and you're done, right? You throw out some supports and upgrades for him too, but all that matters is go through the invocation deck, and that's it. And that's a boring way for me to play. But I still see this hero suggested all the time, that it's a must-have hero, especially on Reddit. I'm not necessarily saying on this YouTube community, but a lot of times you see on Reddit and Facebook and different places that it's a must-have hero, that it's one of the best, like you should absolutely play him, blah, blah, blah. Which I agree, like you should give every hero a shot for sure. I'm not telling you not to play Doctor Strange. Definitely play him, and if he's your favorite hero, that's amazing, that's awesome. I'm happy. I like when there's diversity in this game of thought of I may love Wasp, but other people don't. And it's really cool that we have different heroes that we can all love, right? But anyway, it's kind of this weird thing that I want to talk about. Is there anyone else who has a hero that everyone else seems to love, that just like maybe it clicks for everyone else and they go, "Oh my gosh, like this is so great," and you just can't get them to work. You can't get the hero to work, or you can't get whatever to work with it. I used to feel this way with Captain America too. Is Captain America never felt that great and strong to me. Like, he was obviously good, but he never felt that great and that fun to play. And I would always see him recommend a lot. And he has been slowly growing on me. I did a lot of protection decks with him in the past. Leadership is fun, and I'm starting to get more into leadership again. I took a big hiatus from leadership, and I think that was a part of the problem. So he's one of the ones that I used to not like, that a lot of people like, and now I'm slowly like, okay, like he's not so bad, right? He's fine, but Strange is still a different story. But anyway, that's the last thing I wanted to ask, is just, a hero that everyone loves, that maybe you don't. And it's not that you hate the hero. It's just a give. You can take it or leave it type of thing too. Like, I don't want this to become like a negative bashing thing or anything like that. Obviously everyone has different loves and opinions on heroes, and that's totally cool. But it's just more or less like, you're just like, whatever about the hero. And that's more how I feel about Strange. I know a lot of people think like, I hate Strange. I don't hate him. I think he's boring, and I just don't enjoy playing him. So anyway, so that's our 3 things video. That's all I really wanted to do. I thought this would be kind of fun, 3 things to talk about. Like I said, please, if you want to comment on all of this or any of it, like, put the comments down in the description. I always enjoy this back and forth and learning more about this community and what they like and dislike. I think it's pretty cool. So anyway, while you're down there, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe. There is a join button if you're interested. It's right here. On mobile, you have to use the link. I don't know why this doesn't show up on mobile. It's a weird thing, and I know the majority of you use mobile, so I don't know why it doesn't work. But anyway, you can do this whole thing, and there's a video, and there's things if you want to support me monetarily. You don't have to, but I'm just throwing the option out there. So anyway, appreciate y'all watching this video, and I will see you all next time.